Hello. Okay. Today, I'm being called right now specifically to talk about something that I've discussed with friends of mine and people in my community, and it's just something that needs to be expressed and out there. And I would love for this conversation to develop. Would love to hear your thoughts on it as well, and how this sort of thing is affecting you. Okay. So there has been a lot of darkness coming out, and more heavy, dense emotions, feelings, reactions, experiences. We're seeing a lot of turmoil throughout the world. I've been saying lately that it feels like humanity has been going through a collective dark night of the soul. And if you've been through your own dark night of the soul, you know how that goes, but this is on a very grand scale. And so it's stirring up a lot of shadow, like I said, a lot of these denser, heavier, like root chakra, sacral, solar plexus, emotion, shadows, negative expressions. And we're seeing it all the time, nonstop. It's at our fingertips, at the click of a button. And it can be really overwhelming. And you might be experiencing psychic attacks, spiritual attacks, or just fatigue, anxiety, these kinds of, reactions and experiences within your body, within your nervous system, within your mind, within your auric field, that maybe are not necessarily yours, maybe they are. But it's a lot, and it's heavy, and it's coming in right now. And things are being exposed within yourself and within others and the world at large, on the world stage, so to speak. And people have been asking me, why is this? We're moving into the golden age, we're really trying to shed a lot of that dark energy. So why is it coming through so much? And how come some people are getting so stuck in their shadow? And so this is the message, like this is really what I want to talk about, is that the light is coming through. We are being called to level up, to raise the frequency and the vibration, all of us collectively and individually, at such an unprecedented level. I think technology has done a couple things. So in terms of having the world at your fingertips and all of the turmoil that comes with that, it's also increased the speed at which this soul evolution is happening. And so what that means, in order to bring this light into this realm, because we are in the 3D, sorry to break it to everyone, but we are still in the 3D. As long as we're in this physical material reality, we're still in the 3D. And we are existing in multiple dimensions at the same time. But it's not as if the whole realm has completely shifted. No, we are still in this 3D, which means that we need to process, and there's still a lot of stuff that needs to be transmuted. And in order to transmute it and bring it into the light and alchemize all of the shadow, it means that the shadow has to come out, and it has to be reckoned with and redeemed. And we have to have this awareness of it, and the courage and the fortitude and the support and the integrity to work through it, right? To really face that shadow, accept it, acknowledge it, and then transmute it, right? It's not just going to happen all love and light, sunshine and rainbows. It's not how it goes, especially in this 3D construct that we're in. In the spiritual realm, in the higher dimensions, things move a lot faster, and are transmuted sometimes instantaneously. In this material realm, it's it's pentacles in the tarot, right? It's earth, it's water. It moves slower than fire and air, right? If that makes sense. And okay, so because all this stuff is coming up and these shadows are coming out, not everyone is as equipped to face it and to work through it. And so what we're seeing is this stuff, this raw, dark stuff. I don't know, I just keep calling it stuff because there's a lot, right? And it encompasses many different things, but it's coming up and it's saying, hey, deal with me, acknowledge me, become friends with me, like understand me, why I'm here, what I have served in your life and why, and how to recognize it in the future and make different changes and really do that work, right? And it's hard. It is hard work. And sometimes when that happens, we get triggered to a point, as humans, we can get triggered to a point where it's like, I can't, I'm not equipped, I'm not regulated, I'm not in a space where I can face that and work through it, or I don't want to acknowledge it. And then what happens here is the shadow is kind of pushed aside, it's ignored, and it's left on autopilot. So those same shadows and reactions are going to continue to come up, and that's when we have blockages and we kind of get stuck at this plateau and it doesn't get worked through, and it just kind of grows, right? The other thing that can happen is when these things come up, we're like, oh, that feels kind of comfortable and safe to me because that's what I've known and that's what has served me in the past. So I'm going to lean into that behavior, or I'm going to, really stay there. Like, I'm just going to stay there. I'm going to stay with that. And so what that can look like is if you're being triggered into anger or shame or jealousy or violent behavior, or what else could it be? Depressive behavior. It could be like lashing out at other people. It can be like, there's just a number of things that could trigger in your life, depending on what it is that's coming up. Addictions, self-destructive behaviors, chaotic behaviors, destructive to other people or places or things. And because it has served and it's feeding some sort of internal need that's deep down and back in the subconscious, and we don't take responsibility for it, it's someone else's fault. It's, that was my trauma, or that was his fault, that was because my mother, was neglectful, whatever it was. There's some blame there, not taking a certain level of responsibility for, well, this is my reaction, this is my mechanism that I can actually address and work on, right? So then in these cases, when we get stuck in these behaviors, or we even lean into them because they can feel good, self-destructive behaviors, chaotic behaviors, even harm to others, it can feel good, right? It's serving something in some way, twisted maybe, sure, but human, very, very human. And to some degree, we all kind of do it or have done it or have fallen into that, right? None of us are perfect. I'll be the first to admit that. And so because these shadows are coming up on the individual level and also the collective level in such a huge way, right? What is hidden is now coming to light in so many different ways. And if you're finding that there are people in your life who are, you know, they're stuck in these patterns, or we see humanity, like, I mean, if we look at the music industry, it is so dark, and it's really leaning into that, right? Like, I like to say that, well, I don't like to say it, but it's true, that what we're seeing in the music industry right now, in terms of the videos and the songs and the events, it puts like this satanic panic from the 80s to shame. Like, that was nothing compared to what's literally going on right now. But we're seeing the darkness come up at such a huge level because we are being called to transmute it and to really usher in the light, and not everyone is ready to do that, and that's okay. And so what that means is, if you feel that you're in a spot where you're being called to do some of this alchemy, some of this inner work, then that's great. And that's the thing that you should focus on, because that's what's in your control, and that's really how you're going to make the difference. So the more that you alchemize and change within yourself, it has a ripple effect, and it's going to affect the people around you. It's going to affect the frequency, the collective consciousness. That's really the work that you're meant to do. And what did Gandhi say? Be the change you want to see, something like that. Similar concept. And try not to get discouraged by what's happening around us. Every day there's so much, there is so much pain and suffering, and I mean, send your compassion, send your love, and really, maybe, I mean, it's a mirror, right? Everything's a mirror if we're looking at it in the esoteric sense. So if you are being called to take a look at that, ask yourself, what is this showing about myself and my process and my soul evolution that I can transmute within myself and hopefully make a difference out there in the world, with my family, with my friends, with my community, within the collective of humanity altogether. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It's always darkest before the dawn, so they say. And so if you are feeling like, wow, this is really heavy, it's a lot that that we're being asked to go through right now, it is, but we got this, and we got this together. Yeah, I think that's my point. If you have any questions, send me a note, put it in the comments. I would love to hear. Also, if you have another perspective or any additional insights, that would be great to start the conversation, continue the conversation as well. These are my opinions. This is all based on what I've been experiencing in my life over the past few years, the research that I've been doing, my observations of the human condition, my direct experience. A lot of it is through either work with my clients or the space that I hold here, but also from what I've been seeing in the world, watching the patterns, and paying attention to the signs and the symbols and the synchronicities and the messages that I've been getting from Spirit. So if you don't agree, that's cool. You know, I feel like that's part of it too, right? Like, let's talk about it and figure out how we are going to change the world together, because that's what it's really about. And I'm super excited, honestly, for the revolution, for the changes, the spiritual collective awakening that I think is happening. So thank you for spending time with me and listening to what I have to say. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a beautiful day.